Hello guys, my name is Bahroz. I'm a career coach, and in this video I will share with you sample questions from Ccat test and how to answer them. We know the key challenge is not getting the questions right. Rather, it's getting it right in the shortest time possible. Hence, for each question, I will be sharing tips and tricks that you need to know in order to answer the question in the shortest possible time. Now, previously I have made a video where I shared the format of the Ccat test along with the tips and tricks to ace the test. I recommend you check that out first to understand what to expect in the test overall. Now, before moving into the questions, one special ask of you, which is in case you find any value from this video, please press the like button as this keeps me motivated. And secondly, please subscribe to the channel as well, because on this channel I post content pertaining to how you can achieve success in your career and build wealth. So if any of these topics are of interest to you, this channel is right for you. Now, one important call out before we go into the sample questions and how to answer them is that the best way to ace this test, apart from the tips, tricks and hacks that I teach, is to practice, practice and practice. Practice sample questions, practice sample test. What I did was I went on the web and searched this particular website which has sample questions and sample tests that mimics the original test. I highly recommend you check them out. I will leave the link to this particular website in the description of this video. The best part is that if you practice the test as if you were appearing for the test itself, it kind of helps with managing your nerves. It kind of helps with putting that same kind of pressure that you will feel in the test as well, which is also important for you to master. It's not just about mastering the questions itself, but also to master the pressure, and that is only possible when you are giving an original practice test. So I highly recommend you check this website out and give some sample tests and sample questions and appear in them and train your brain and train yourself in order to ace them. Now, the criteria cognitive aptitude test, which is the Ccat test, assesses three aspects of your cognitive functions. So I will share sample questions for each function. First one is verbal reasoning, which is not an assessment of your reading and writing proficiency. Rather, it is a test of your vocabulary level, which reflects your general ability to find your way with words. There are 4 types of verbal reasoning questions. Number 1 is word analogy. Now, under word analogy, the first question I have is cashmere is to wool as taffeta is to hemp, or B silk, or C cotton, D linen, or polyester. Here the correct answer is silk, because cashmere is type of a wool just as taffeta is type of a silk. Taffeta is a crisp, smooth fabric traditionally made from silk. The second question under word analogy I have is sun is to day as moon is to night. Tree is to forest, car is to garage, pen is to paper, light is to dark. The correct answer here is moon is to night. The sun is associated with the day just as the moon is associated with the night. The relationship is one of natural occurrences. So the sun defines the daytime, the moon defines or is commonly linked with the nighttime. The third question I have is medicine is to illness as law is to either anarchy, which is A, B is discipline, C is treason, D is etiquette, E is order. Here the answer is anarchy. Medicine is used to treat or prevent illness. Similarly, law is created to prevent or control anarchy, a state of disorder due to lack of governances or rule. While order might seem like a good choice as well, the more precise analogy is that law addresses and prevents anarchy just as medicine addresses illness. The second section under verbal reasoning is sentence completion. So here the first sample question I have is the patient remained dash to all treatments and the doctors grew concerned about their lack of progress. A resistant, B responsive, C addicted, D immune, E indifferent. The correct answer here is resistant. The sentence suggests that the patient did not respond positively to treatments, which would indicate resistance to them. Resistant best fits the context, as it means the patient is not reacting favorably to or as opposed to the treatment altogether. The second sample example I have is despite his dash behavior, the team appreciated his creativity and out-of-the-box thinking. A predictable, B erratic, C consistent, D passive, E chaotic. The correct answer here is erratic. The sentence suggests that while the person's behavior might be unconventional or unpredictable, their creativity and innovative thinking were still valued by the team. Erratic means unpredictable or inconsistent, which fits well with the contrast implied in the sentence. Chaotic, which is number E, might seem close, but erratic better conveys the idea of irregular behavior rather than complete disorder. And the last sample question I have under sentence completion is, if someone is dash, they are likely to accomplish their goals because they stay focused and work hard. A, determined, B, hesitant, C, oblivious, D, indifferent, E, motivated. The correct answer here is determined. If someone is determined, they have a strong will to accomplish their goals, stay focused and work hard. Motivated, which is number E, is a close choice, but determined implies a stronger sense of persistence and commitment, making it the best fit for the sentence. Now, next section under verbal reasoning is antonyms. So the first sample question I have here is, prosperity is the opposite of dash. A, wealth, B, poverty, C, abundance, D, success, E, rich. The correct answer here is poverty. Prosperity means wealth, success, and financial well-being. The opposite of prosperity would be poverty, which signifies lack of financial resources or hardship. Other options like wealth, abundance, or success and rich are all related to prosperity rather than being its opposite. Next sample question is, genuine is opposite of A, authentic, B, fake, C, real, D, honest, E, truth. The correct answer here is fake. Genuine means real, authentic, or being sincere. The opposite of genuine would be fake, which means something that is not real or is deceptive. Other options like authentic, real, honest, and truth are synonyms or closely related to genuine rather than being its opposite. And the third sample question I have is, optimistic is the opposite of A, positive, B, hopeful, C, pessimistic, D, enthusiastic, E, real. The correct answer here is pessimistic. And explanation would be, optimistic means having a positive outlook and expecting good outcomes. The opposite of optimism is pessimism, which means expecting negative outcomes or focusing on the worst possible scenario. Other options like positive, hopeful, and enthusiastic are synonyms or closely related to optimism rather than being its opposite. Now, the last part under the verbal reasoning is attention to detail. Here, the first sample question I have with me is, how many of the 5 items in the left-handed column are exactly the same as the corresponding entry in the right-hand column? Here, what you need to do, or the trick, is that you need to read the part of the word first or part of the sentence first and then check whether it matches or not. So what I will do is, for the first one, 8017 matches 8077. No, it doesn't match. So this is out. Second, 986 match. Then I go back and look at the second part, which is Jade, match. dr.dr. match, hence it's a match. Next one, 408 match, good. Bay match, good. View match, good. Street, drive doesn't match, so this cancels out. 51 matches, green rose matches, avenue matches, good. 9326 matches, berry matches, avenue matches. This is good. So there are 3 which match and there are 2 which don't match. Second one is, how many of the 5 names in the left hand column are exactly the same as the corresponding entry in the right hand column? Here again we start with the first one, which is Alexis, Alex, different, so they don't match. Dylan match, Smith matches. Jenna match, Cooper doesn't match, so it is not a match. Lily matches, Thompson doesn't match. Noah matches, Walker matches. So there are 2 match that we have here. Next is math and logic. These questions are not an assessment of your basic math skills, but a test of your ability to quickly work with numerical and logical information presented to you in order to find a solution for the problem. However, the test does rely on your good command on basic math and pre-algebra skills. And that is why it is important that you practice it more and more. Probably you did these math skills and algebra skills, or you had them when you were in your school or high school, but you have not kind of been in practice, and hence you've lost it. And hence it is important that you practice as much as possible. And as I said, there's a website where you can find sample tests and sample questions which will mimic the original test. I will leave the link of that website in the description of this video. I highly recommend you check it out. So under the math and logic questions, one of the sections is direct calculation. Here, one of the sample question I have is 53 is 25% of what number? Which means that the number is originally big, and we are saying that 53 is just a quarter of that big number. So here we need to understand that 25% is 1/4 of 100%, which means that 53 is 1/4 of that big number, which means that if you multiply 4 by 53, we will get to that number. So best way to multiply 4 with 53, either you use a calculator or simply 4 into 50 is 200, and then 4 into 3 is 12. 200 plus 12 is 212. So 212 is our answer. The next one is, if a store sells a product for $60 with a 20% discount, what is the discounted price? So what is the lower price? So what is 20% of 60? 20% of 60 is 12. How do we get to that? Is 10% of 60 is 6, and 20% would be twice of that, which is 12. If we take out 12 from 60, we are left with 48. So 60 minus 12 is 48, and 48 is our answer. And the last sample question I have is on direct calculation, is which of the following is the smallest value? Here what I want you to do is look at the numbers and compare the numbers on the left. So all of them are 0, so doesn't matter. Second column is 4, 0, 0, 0, 1. Here we eliminate 4 because 4 is high. We are looking for the lowest value. So we eliminate A, we eliminate E. Then we look at third column for B, C, D. Third column has 5, 9, 5. Here we eliminate C because C is highest, and 5 are same. Then we look at column 4 where B has 4, number 4, and D doesn't have anything, because if there is nothing, it means 0. So 4 versus 0, 0 is lower. So we choose D. So when we are comparing and looking for the lowest number, and we're eliminating the numbers which are high. The next section under math and logic is word problems. So the first sample question I have is 2000 movie tickets were sold for the new movie during the first week of its release. How many tickets were sold during the second week if the ticket sales dropped by 55%? So whatever the number of the sale was in week 1, it dropped by 55% in week 2. So we want to know what is the 55% of week 1. So for us to know what is 55% of week 1, we need to do 55% of 2000. So here what we need to do is first figure out what is 55% of 2000. What I do here is I break it into 50 and 5. So 50% of 2000 is half of it, which is 1000, and 5% of 2000 is 100. So, and how do I know 5% of 2000 is 100? Is because 10% of 2000 is 200. 5 is half of 10, so we reach 100. So we add 1000 plus 100, which is 1100. This is the drop, so it reduced by. So this is the number that is sold less in second week. So in second week, we were not able to sell 1100 tickets versus week 1. So week 1 was 2000 minus 1100, we are left with 900, and that is our answer. The next sample question I have is Jonathan and his sister Jennifer have combined age of 48. If Jonathan is twice as old as his sister, how old is Jennifer? Now here, remember, whenever there is a word problem question, my best recommendation is to start writing as you're reading, because you want to avoid reading the question twice. So Jonathan and his sister have combined age of 48. JO plus JE equals to 48. Write it down. If Jonathan is twice as old as his sister, which is JO equals to 2 into JE, then how old is Jennifer? So we need to know how old is JE. So I take equation 1, which is JO plus JE equals to 48, and I move JE on one side, which becomes 48 minus JO. JE equals to 48 minus JO. Now I replace JO with the second equation, which is 2 into JE. So JE equals to 48 minus 2 into JE, which is JE equals to 48 minus 2 JE. I move all the JEs on one side, so JE plus, when the 2 JE moves on the left side, it becomes plus. So we are left with 3 JE equals to 48. And now we divide both sides by 3. So JE equals to 48 divided by 3, and our answer is 16. The next sample question I have is a restaurant bill is made up of the following: 12.5, again start writing it down, 12.5 for starters, 28.55, 28.55 for the main course, and 8.95 for dessert. So I write it all down. Plus 15% service charge. How much is the total bill? So we need to add the bill together. The best way to add it is add the whole numbers first. 1228.8 is 48, and then you add the cents, which is 50 cents plus 55 plus 95, which is $2. So 48 plus 2 is $50. Now you apply the tip on top, or the service charge on top. So 15% of 50 is 7.5. How do I know this? With the quick math, is 10% of 50 is 5. So 15% would be another 2.5, so 7.5. So 50 plus 7.5, so 50 was the original bill plus the service charge of 7.5, we end at 57.5. Now the next part under the math and logic is table and charts. Here the first sample question I have is what is the total number of units sold for all products combined on Wednesday, and here we have different a table which is providing sale for 3 products across different days, Monday to Friday. So we pick Wednesday, we add 50 plus 40, which is 90, plus 30, which is 120. So 120 is our answer. Second sample question, what is the average daily sale of product X over the week? So here we add all the product X sales in the 5 days and divide by 5. So here we add 20 plus 30, which is 50, plus 25, which is 75, plus 35, which is 110, plus 40, which makes it 150. 150 divided by 5 is 30. So 30 is our answer. So the next sample question is, on which day was the total sales for all products the highest? What we do is, for each of the days, we add up the sale and see which one is highest and eliminate the one which is the lowest. So Monday is 5 plus 6 plus 3, which becomes 14. Tuesday is 7 plus 8 plus 4, which becomes 19. So we'll eliminate Monday. We are left with Tuesday. Then we see Wednesday. Wednesday is 6 plus 5 plus 5, which is 16. Again, Tuesday remains to be highest at 19. So we continue at Tuesday, eliminate Wednesday. Next one is 8 plus 9 plus 6. So again, note here, I'm not adding the zeros. I'm just adding the first digit, which is good enough. It is much simpler math for me. So when we do Thursday, it is 8 plus 9 plus 6, which is 23. So 23 is higher than Tuesday. So 23 is our lead for now. And then when we compare it with Friday, which is 9 plus 10 plus 7, it is 26. So Friday is the highest. So we choose Friday. The next section under math and logic is number series. So here I have 3 sample questions for number series. Number 1 is, what number should replace the question mark 100, 83, 66, 49, 32? So here what I do is, typically I start with subtracting. So 100 minus 83 is 17. Okay. 83 minus the next number, which is 66, is 17. Good. 66 minus 49, which is the next number, is 17, which means there is a difference of 17 between each one of them, which means simply 32 minus 17 would be our answer, which is 32 minus 17 equals to 15. The next sample question is, what number should replace the question mark 1, 2, 6, 12, 36, 72? So here it seems like the numbers are growing exponentially, so it won't be minus, it would be more of multiplication. So 1 into 2 is 2. Then we multiply 2 with 3 becomes 6. Then we multiply 6 with 2 becomes 12. 12 with 3, 36. 36 with 2, 72. So first we multiply with 2, then we multiply with 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, that's the sequence. So in the last one, since we multiply 36 with 2, it became 72. Then we multiply 72 with 3, it becomes 216. So 216 is our answer. Here the sample question I have is, which number logically completes the series 3, 7, 15, 31? So here what is going on is that 4 is being multiplied by 2. So 4 into 2 is 8, 8 into 2 is 16, 16 into 2 is 32, which would be the next number. So we will add 32 to 31 and that gives us 63. So 63 is our answer. Now the next section under math and logic is critical thinking. So here the sample question I have with me is, all cats are mammals and all mammals are warm-blooded. It's best to write it in an equation. So cats, C for cat, C equals to M, which is all are mammal. M is for mammal, are all warm-blooded, so equals to WB. Now let's check each of the options one by one and see if it fulfills the test that we have here or the outcome we have here. So all warm-blooded creatures are mammals. Not necessarily. There are birds which may not be mammals. So this is not necessarily. Next one is some warm-blooded creatures are cats. Well, technically true, but not the strongest conclusion. So this can be true that some warm-blooded creatures are cats. The next one is, all cats are warm-blooded. And this is, if you see how I've done it, C equals to M, M equals to WB, which means C equals to WB, which means C, all cats are warm-blooded. So yeah, this is sure shot true. Number D is, no cats are warm-blooded. No, this is incorrect. It contradicts with the given equation that we've created. And number E is, some cats are not mammals. This is incorrect as well, because all cats are mammals. We have been told that. So C is the strongest yes, and hence we will pick C. The next sample question I have is, if it rains, the ground gets wet. So rain equals to wet. The ground is wet. What can you conclude? Again, let's go one by one. So number 1 is, it rained. This is incorrect. This is an example of a fallacy of affirming the consequent. Just because the ground is wet does not mean it necessarily rained. Next one is, the ground is wet due to rain. Incorrect. We cannot conclude that rain is the only cause of ground being wet. We know that rain causes it to be wet, but that cannot be the only cause. C is, there might be another reason the ground is wet. Yes, this is correct. This is the most logical conclusion since other causes are possible as well. And D is it has rained. Incorrect. We do not have enough information to conclude whether it rained or not. And last one, the ground is always wet. Incorrect. The statement only establishes that rain causes wet. Ground, not the ground is always wet. So this information is not provided to us altogether. So C is the answer, whereas there might be another reason for the ground to be wet. The next question is, some doctors are scientists, so which means part of the D for doctors, let's say half of them are scientists. So half of D equals to scientist, and the next one is all scientists are educated. Scientist equals to educated. So I've converted it into an equation. Which of the following is true? Now let's go one by one. Some doctors are educated. We cannot conclude this directly because while all scientists are educated, we don't know if all doctors are educated as well or not. Number B is all doctors are educated. This is incorrect. We don't have enough information to conclude that all the doctors are educated. Only the scientists among them are known to be educated. C is some scientists are doctors. This is correct. We already know that some doctors are scientists, which also means that some scientists could be doctors. This flows directly from the first inference that is being made. Some doctors are scientists can be rewritten as some scientists are doctors. D is some educated people are scientists. Well, this is true, but not the best choice because since all scientists are educated, not some. So we know all of them are educated, so we won't take this option either. And last one is no scientists are doctors. Well, this is incorrect. This directly contradicts the first statement, which states that some doctors are scientists. So C is our best option, which is some scientists are doctors. Now, the last segment is spatial abstract reasoning. These questions assess your ability to reason using fluid information like abstract shapes and figures and arrive at a conclusion based on just a few examples. Inductive reasoning, which is like, if these are the examples, what would be the next, or does it make sense? So you induce based on whatever is provided to you. You will need to assess the shape and structure of the figures, perhaps perform a mental rotation of shapes and find the missing element based on your best understanding of the shape and the sequence of the shape that you are provided. So here the sample question I have is a circle which has 8 parts and 2 of them are shaded, and the shades are being changed. What is happening here is that there is a rotation happening, and the rotation is happening counterclockwise. So one step each time, which means the next one would be a counterclockwise movement as well. And the only counterclockwise option that I see works the best or suits the best is option B. So the next sample question is, there is a shape being added each time. First there is a line, then in the second one there is a line and 3 dots with the black dot in between. Then they reappear with the line is added again, and then the 3 dots again added, which means the next one would be a line added again. So here the best option that I see is option A, which has all the shapes and an added line towards the end. And the last sample question I have on the shape sequence is circle. There's a big circle, square, triangle, and then big circle again. So there's a sequence of big circle, square, triangle, big circle, which means there would be a big square again. So the only ones where I see the big square is C and D. And let's see the internal or inner shape, which is square, triangle, circle, square, and then it should be triangle. So big square and small triangle is option D. Now the next section under spatial and abstract is finding the odd one out. So here the first sample question I have is, there are like 5 different designs. We need to find the one which is odd. So here if I notice one thing, that there are 3 shapes within one item. So for instance, A has a triangle inside, circle outside, and then the square fully outside. So circle in the middle and square outside. B has a square, square, circle. C has square, triangle, circle. D has circle, triangle, square. E has triangle, circle, square. So all of them have different shapes except for B, which has square being repeated. So this one is an odd one out. Similarly, if you go to the next one, which of the following is an odd one out? So we have a triangle, 3 sides. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, pentagon, hexagon, circle, and then we have a square. So all of the shapes have a side except for circle, which doesn't have a side at all. So this one is an odd one out. And the third sample question I have is, which of the following is an odd one out? Here we have black, white, black, white, black, black, white, black, white, black, black, white. And so there are always 2 blacks in all of them except for which one? C. C only has one black. All of the rest have two blacks. So C is the odd one out. The last section under spatial abstract is matrix completion, where you will be given a picture which is kind of a matrix and there would be a missing section. So you need to find what is that missing section from the options given. So here we need to find the missing box. So what we will do is we will go row by row. In the first row, we have three triangles. One of the triangles have a circle. In the second row, we have three triangles. One of the triangle has a circle. In the third row, we have two triangles. One of the triangle has a circle, which means the third one won't have a circle. So we can simply eliminate B, D, E, G. So we are left with A, C, F, H. Second, again, if we go row by row, what we see that one of the triangles, which is without the circle, doesn't have a dash connected to the boundary, while one has. Similarly, in the second row, there is a triangle which doesn't have any connection. Then there is a triangle which has a connection. In the third row, we have the triangle which has the connection to the outer box, which means we are looking for a triangle which has no connection. So we eliminate A and we eliminate H. So we are left with C and F. Now we need to figure out the direction of this triangle. So again, if you go row by row, in the first row, the two triangle will always point in the same direction. The first box, the third box. In the second row, it is the second box and the third box. They're shaped in the same way. In the third row, both the boxes are shaped in the same way, which means the third one will be opposite. And hence F is our answer because here the triangle is inverted. Now let's move to the next question. Here, the question I have is we need to find the missing section. Again, it's best to go row by row. So in the first row, we have a black dot, white dot, black dot, white dot. Second row, black, white, black, white. Third row should also be black, white, black, white. So which option has a white and a black on top? It's either C or D, which we have white and then we have black. And then the last row should be black, white, black, which is possible in both C and D. Now again, let's start with the top again. In the first one, there is just one circle in the row. First box and the second box is same. It's just that the size is different. If we go to the next one, first box and the second box is same, just the size is different. Similarly, if we go again back to the first row, the third and the fourth box are also the same. It's just the size are different. Like there are two circles, the size is different. Similarly, if we go on the third one, the first box has two circles, which means the second box will also have two circles, which is possible in both C and D. But they would be of different size. It cannot be of the same size. So D has the same size as the third row first box, but C has a smaller size. So C is our option and we will select C. So again, here the idea is you have to pick one measure, one factor, measure it across or see it across all rows and then eliminate. Then pick a second factor, see it across all rows and then eliminate, and eventually you'll reach the final solution that you have or the final selection that you need to make. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully after watching this video, you will be very well trained in how you can go about acing the Ccat test. In case you found value of this video, I'm sure you'll find value out of other videos that I have on Ccat on my channel. I will leave the link to the playlist here. Check it out. Thank you.